fairly nice outside for Grimsby today. Not quite such a strong smell of fish.
So, Sarah,
yes.
You're half Spanish. Nice beaches, Spanish senoritas, fabulous food. So what made you choose Grimsby over Spain, then?
Oh, I mean, I've still got a beach near, haven't I?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's got pound shops. It's got a burger van.
Obviously, the weather.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going through the menopause, so the weather here actually suits me, because every now and again I get steam coming out the top of my head.
Need help down there.
Number 2.
Uh-oh, here we go.
For those arrested and placed under lock and key.
What's your surname, please?
Doc.
You gonna give me your real details?
Donald.
Birchin Way Custody Facility in Grimsby is like no other.
We've moved along with the times, you know, we've left the old dungeons behind.
This state-of-the-art £14 million facility is the first of its kind.
So I am authorising your detention here, as uncomfortable as it might be, because it's obviously not the Hilton.
It's situated in one of the most deprived areas in the country.
Get your hand out now!
Oh, my God. Get me some earplugs, will you?
Over 6,000 detainees come through the doors every year.
A couple of hours and there'll be somebody else in this room. It's a bit like one of your busiest hotels, really.
You want to pop this gentleman to number 33 for me, which is on the orange block?
It may be a challenge,
I can't hear you because you put poo in the intercom.
but these unsung heroes
Smells a bit fresh.
have a groundbreaking approach to deal with new detainees.
Heroin and crack at 80 quid a day. Do you want any help with that?
Not to pay for it.
No, not to pay for it, no.
Just because they've been arrested doesn't mean to say that they've committed an offence.
We're going to treat them as customers rather than as criminals.
Got lobster thermidor, filet mignon and a sauce béarnaise.
Newspapers?
And if successful, it will be rolled out across the UK.
What would you rate us on TripAdvisor?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10, that'll do for me.
Wobby mum.
Do you guys want one? We're having a brew.
Yeah.
We only have Yorkshire tea on this shift. So, I'm not from Yorkshire. I have no affiliation to Yorkshire. I'm actually from Lancashire. However, the one thing I will give the Yorkies is their tea is the best.
Thank you.
Right, we all ready? We all here? Yeah.
Custody Team 3's shift starts with a rundown of those already locked up.
31 is in for 2 times GBH, common assault, threats to kill, described as being compliant but grumpy. 16 is in for ABH. He's been interviewed. He was rather aggressive and uncooperative on arrival, under the influence of something.
Anyone arrested can be detained for up to 24 hours while the police investigate their alleged crimes.
Number 20, juvenile male. He came in with a bit of a chip in his shoulder, apparently, but he's since changed his mind and actually admitted what he's done.
The 36 cells are spacious, with en-suites, mod-cons and a buzzer to reception.
I would never call a custody suite the Ritz. However, I would like to think it's one of the more comfortable suites that we've got in the country. 29 is a name I really can't pronounce. Violent and aggressive, and described as being upset with life. And that's it for my side.
Looks like you've got all the problems tonight. Cheers, guys.
Let's have a good one.
Hello there.
Come on! Leave me alone!
Number 33, please.
Leave me alone!
Please tell her I have not tried to shoot somebody.
The Saturday night shift is always the busiest of the week.
I'm the custody sergeant. OK, I'll be looking after you whilst you're in, making sure your detention's lawful. You do notice a difference on a Friday and Saturday night. It does tend to be a lot busier. At this stage, you've not been charged with anything, you've not been convicted of anything.
Do you know what my nickname is? Big Friendly Giants, Joe.
Payday, people intent on spending all their wages in one go and will have too much to drink and start fighting. To be fair, that can be every night of the week in Grimsby. These officers are going to be probably searching your house.
Taking a piss, mate. You basically destroyed my life now.
But this Saturday night has an added complication.
I'm in for some trouble.
It's full moon tonight. Full moon normally means full custody suite. Full of people full of themselves.
Even the staff go crazy on a full moon. No idea why. Looks like he needs to howl.
Right, I'll get this one booked in then.
On an already busy shift, it isn't long before the team's full moon theory starts to ring true.
Emergency.
Please, quick, get you quick. There's massive time.
Are you involved?
Yeah, I'm involved. You threw glass at me.
3-2, suspects, group of 3 males. They've had a mass brawl in the pub.
You've got 6 officers on scene now.
Oh, God. Hey up, lads, you all right? Oh, what's happened to you?
Oh, no, got bullet.
Bullet. You're just going to be detained because you're part of a group that's been identified as causing some issues in a pub.
Buddy, come here.
What, are you arresting me?
At this moment in time, yeah.
Stay there.
No.
Stay there. What are you running for, daft lad?
Because I don't want to lock it up.
Wait, he's coming in for a fray. They're going to have to come in for a fray. Get your hand out now!
3 men have been arrested for unlawful violence, known in police terms as a fray.
Got one ready to come in.
I'll go out the affray corridor. If he's really bad, we'll just take him straight to his cell.
Well, I look like I was causing a fray.
Just in relation to the offence of a fray.
2 seconds.
No. Silence for 1 minute and then you can have your say.
Oh, look at Sergeant having a go.
There's obviously been... Right.
2 seconds. Have I been charged? Have I been charged?
Oh, my God. Get me some earplugs, will you? Now.
You don't make the demands in here, mate. Just stop speaking over me. Sometimes do draw on my military background. I'm a big fan of discipline. Unfortunately, not all the detainees go along with that.
Did you feel threatened?
OK, there's
2 seconds, I want to hear this.
Sometimes the old military sergeant has to come out. Silence for 1 minute and then you can have your say. Bring it round to desk 2, please.
It isn't yet clear who started the fight. Whilst the first 2 men are booked in, a third is having to wait his turn in the van.
Circumstances, male's been identified as being part of a group involved in a fight.
You've been here before?
Usually for something I've done.
Right.
Today, not.
OK.
What's your surname, please?
Duck.
You going to give me your real details?
The first one, Donald.
Are you going to give me your real details or not?
Of course I'm not. I'm
Right.
locked up for the night.
You are going to get locked up for the night, yeah?
There's my signature. Here's my signature. Off, get me in a cell.
OK. We've just had a detainee brought in. He's got quite a nasty egg on his face, where he's been punched in the face, and he's going to be going to hospital.
But detainee Tony is too aggressive for hospital, so he's taken to his cell to cool down.
Just let's just find out what it is that you've been arrested for.
Vicky processes the second man.
The offence, please.
Common assault. How the I've been for something I am done.
To record what I'm doing. Stop spitting.
Yours threatening to spit?
Straight down to 20, please.
There we go.
People do all sorts in custody. We see people harming themselves, we see people being violent, we see people coming in pleasuring themselves. I hope I've seen it all, because I really don't want to see anything else. You don't spit at people, it's disgusting. You've had one chance, you don't get any more. Let's get him searched.
He's kicking off like shit down there.
Tony in cell 12 is also causing problems.
They need help down there.
Calm down. Get the up. Get the up now. I haven't moved. I haven't moved.
Tony, just chill out. You're going to...
You absolute
Level 3 until he calms down, and then we'll be going to hospital.
A good old show, isn't it? Wonderful.
With 2 men locked up, Vicky can now book in the third.
What's the time of arrest, please?
Time of arrest, 2311. Albion Street, Grimsby.
They keep coming in, don't they?
What do you think? Yes or no? Is this one going to go?
We'll give him 5 minutes and he'll go. Woof.
When people come into custody, we have been known every so often to have our own little bets as to whether they're going to kick off or not.
Sarah's really switched on, and she predicts things well before it even happens.
Let's have a bet. How much do you want to bet?
If he goes, you buy. If he don't go, I buy.
Deal.
Do you consider yourself to be white and British?
White and Gus and Brown.
Don't be looking at him because you'll make him...
Then I'll win the bet, won't I?
I don't want him kicking off.
The best thing you can do now.
Oh, it's going. Is he going to kick off?
I don't want to be in pain, but am I allowed a lasagna and a cup of tea?
I don't think we've got any lasagna. We've got pasta bolognese.
Don't do that.
Oh, Sue, did I just win that bet?
We don't need to discuss it any further. I lost the bet.
She thought it was going to be 3 out of 3.
And it won't.
What shall I have tomorrow night? It's on Sue. It's very easy to influence what you want Sue to say. Just a bit of a play on words. Oh, I think that person's definitely going to kick off, Sue. Do you think? Oh, yeah.
Dan, don't bring Tracy up. She's going.
The first few hours of this full moon shift have been busier than Vicky would like.
And the offence?
Wasting police time.
Got a long 12 hours ahead of you, and if you're already starting off in a dull mood, it can make for a really long shift.
So Vicky takes matters into her own hands.
Pizza. Pizza is for dinner. Breakfast, lunch and dinner, I'll have you know. Bit of dirty food.
Yeah, right.
Keep the spirits up, you know.
Yeah, right.
The first one is a Mediterranean platter with chip spice, please. Food is very important. A hungry troop is always going to be an unhappy troop. The next one is a cheesy chip wrap. Yeah, like a kid's meal, isn't it? We always try and get ordered at the beginning of the shift, just so that we've got a better chance of actually getting it ordered. Could I have the hot waves, please? 36, spicy pizza. Pizza's usually the favourite order because it's one of the better ones to eat cold. Cheers, bye. God, that was hard work.
Detainees taken into custody are placed in cells in one of Birchin Way's 3 colour-coded wings.
Psychologists have looked at it and said, these are the colours that will help keep people calm. Green, teal and orange. Well, for me it's green, blue and orange, but I'm old school. It's apparently helps make the building feel a lot calmer. But not sure some of the detainees that get brought in on a Saturday night are actually bothered about the colour scheme.
Residing on Green Wing is Tony, one of the 3 men brought in for fighting outside a pub.
The detainee number 12 who we had to do a cell exit on was extremely violent when brought in, but he's got quite a nasty facial injury. So the medic clearly says that there's going to be some underlying damage, and to be fair, that's one of the biggest shiners I've ever seen in 16 years of being a police officer. So we're going to send him up to hospital.
Officers need to handcuff Tony before he can be transported.
Yeah? The way you detained me in here was disgusting. Disgusting. I had a gob on me, yeah. Look, tight as fuck again. So I will drop you.
Totally right.
I will drop you.
Do you want me to loosen him or not?
Get him out! I want you to get his constable out of this room. This constable's got a problem with me. Get him out. No, 2 seconds. I want him out. You've got a problem.
Right, guys, there's no point taking him to hospital like this. There's no point taking him to hospital like this.
I'm being polite.
Leave him in here.
Tony, step back. No, 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Step back. Step back!
Tony, step back. No, 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
Step back. No. Step back!
Wait a minute. You want to?
You were told to step back. Step back.
One of the 3 men arrested for fighting has turned on Jason and his team.
Level 3's going to have to stay on, guys. We're not taking him to hospital like that. I've just had to push him over in the cell because he was trying to get out and put his arms out and making demands, and he's aggressive, and I don't know if he's going to swing his arms or flail or hit an officer in the face.
The general rule is we use as little force as we possibly can, but ultimately we would only ever do it if we absolutely have to minimise any risk that person might be posing to themselves or us. You know, we've seen it where detainees have become violent. On one occasion, a custody sergeant lost his life as a result of one of the detainees' actions. So yeah, it can be dangerous.
What's he up to? Hang on. Has he just took something out the back? He has. He's took something out the back of his trousers.
Also causing concern is the occupant of cell 20, one of the other men involved in the fight.
Watch, and he's putting it up to his face.
I think that one that you've just sent down is going to have to be strip searched. He looks like he gets something out of his pocket, and then he does literally turn on his side, both hands near his mouth, and then puts his hand back to his back pocket.
Even though all detainees are searched on arrival, attempts at smuggling in weapons, phones and drugs are common.
Keep him on camera.
I am, I'm watching him.
When you're searching detainees that have just arrived, you've always got to make sure that search is thorough, it's done properly, because if it's not, you can miss things and they can harm themselves, they can harm staff. You just got to be so careful.
Stand at the back for me, mate. What's he got on it? What's he meant to have?
You've been saying on the camera that there was something at the back of your jeans and put your hands to your mouth.
Don't put your hand down. Don't point your mouth there.
I've done fuck all, man. This is what winds me up.
I think he's just playing up to the cameras.
I don't think so.
We'll see.
I don't.
Officers are instructed to perform a strip search to be sure.
Spin around.
Yeah, I know.
Anything, guys?
He said he did it on purpose to wind us up.
Yeah, I did say that.
You said that, didn't you, Sarah?
I did say he was probably playing up to the camera, but we had to be on the shore side.
The mischievous suspect in cell 20 is one of the custody suite's familiar faces.
Have you ever been here before?
Yeah, of course.
Detainees that come back again and again.
I would say 95% of the people who come through here are repeat visitors.
Long time no see.
Bunch of dead coppers.
When you start seeing the same people over and over again, you kind of think, oh, here we go again. Sausage factory's in full production.
You've come back to visitors, haven't you? Again.
2 days ago, 3 days ago, you were last here?
Sunday, Saturday.
You're here long, you're at home, aren't you?
Start charging him, shouldn't we?
You build up a rapport with people in custody, of course you do. I've got a cell with your name on it. I've got your book with the chapter still open. Yeah. And if you build up a rapport with them, they don't cause you any problems.
Get your blanket and get you tucked up.
We got a couple blankets, man.
Oh, go on then. 29, please.
29. No, no.
Just occasionally, the teams get a new face on the block. Vicky is about to meet Craig.
Morning.
Morning.
You been here before?
I've never been this side anywhere.
No? Never been arrested at all? Ever? OK.
Craig's confusion
And the circumstances?
even extends to why he's been arrested in the first place.
The circumstances are, male has been seen by a witness smashing the window of the takeaway on Digby Street and take an item from within before leaving the scene heavily bleeding.
Craig was arrested in his hotel after police followed a trail of blood from the scene.
If I was a betting woman, what would I say has happened? Let me think. Too much alcohol. Way too much alcohol.
Have you had any alcohol in the last 24 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah? Roughly how much?
I honestly don't know.
Doesn't seem like he's had a lot of alcohol, but he smells like a brewery.
And how are you feeling at the minute?
A bit embarrassed and shocked, if I'm honest.
It's one of them things that could happen to anybody. I could do it. Have way too much to drink and wake up in here. My God, can you imagine waking up in here? Oh, my God.
Whilst the police collect evidence to jog Craig's memory,
All right.
he'll spend the night locked up.
I haven't been in custody, never been in trouble with the police whatsoever. I'm quite embarrassed because I used to work in prisons as a prison guard. But I've had too much to drink and I've done something I shouldn't have. If you've done something wrong, you just got to sort it out and deal with it.
Whilst Vicky's team gets stuck in, hers will have to go cold, as tonight's full moon appears to be bringing in a constant stream of new arrivals.
I've got 1 down there, I've got 3 down there. Been a very busy night. Not the way we like it. Well, I saw the full moon earlier. I just thought, do you know what, that doesn't bode well at all for work tonight.
The full moon myth is not a myth. Statistically, we have busier shifts in here when there is a full moon. Psychologists have said that full moon causes people to go a little bit crazy and a little bit wild, and I could probably vouch for that.
I've still got one more new arrival to book in.
With no desk or officers available, a new arrival arrested for assault and criminal damage must wait in the police van.
Yeah, matey.
But the young man isn't responding to officers.
Somebody unconscious in the backyard.
Fuck's sake. Hold the door, Liam.
Oh, fella. Come on, matey.
As the sergeant in charge, it's down to Vicky to establish what's happened.
Do you know who he is?
He's not responding.
Ring 999.
This patient is in our custody. He's become unconscious.
On a busy, full moon night shift, a new arrival at the custody suite lies unresponsive.
The age of him is early 20s, I believe. We've got the custody medic with him now.
With minimal equipment. It is quite concerning. We've got a person who's been arrested and put into custody. We've not even had a chance to book him into custody yet because of the queues that we've had in the backyard. At the minute, we've got the healthcare professional with him assessing him. Just trying to find sort of what level of unconscious he is, and hopefully an ambulance can run route.
Right, can somebody grab the med bag?
I'll go get your bag. I need to be straight back out again. A significant medical emergency it is a really, really worrying time. Because people do die in custody. Straight back out, please, Gary. It's the main worry of all custody sergeants up and down the country. Pete, will you nip back in and just look for one, Gary? We're not going to be having any more coming in until he's cleared, just in case something goes wrong.
The man is breathing, but still unresponsive. Officers believe he has knocked himself unconscious by banging his head on the inside of the van.
I'm not able to get him to respond to anything at the minute. I mean, I'm getting absolutely now out of here.
We're not going to be having any more new arrivals, because I don't want to block the ambulance in and stop them from getting in the way. Second, if anything were to go drastically wrong and prove to be fatal, we've obviously got a scene and a massive job on our hands here. We've also got quite a number of detainees already in custody and some more waiting to get booked in, and it's managing those risks.
Can you hear me?
The injured man has been unconscious for almost 15 minutes.
Can you hear me? Hello? Open your eyes, mate.
He's starting to come round.
Do you have any pain? Your head. Whereabouts? All over.
It is a relief when you know that someone's going to be all right. You've got to try and keep the emotion out of it as best you can. It's hard to do that completely. You know, we're human beings at the end of the day.
Well, you put my address in. Yeah, but it's only £50. Well, we'll get that sorted. All right, don't worry about that. Your health's more important than your tracksuit, isn't it? It's not. 1, 2, 3, up we go. That's it.
The man will go to hospital for a full checkup, but he's still under arrest.
We have a couple will go with him in the ambulance, please.
If he gets the all clear, he will return to custody.
Quite often you find that they're actually feigning being unconscious, but when they are genuinely unconscious, and you know, like he's got a head injury, you just don't know what's going to happen. And I suppose you always plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Is he all right?
Yeah. He's coming round. Nick's cut his sleeve to get to his hand, and he's come round and gone, what have you done to my jumper? Not bothered about anything else.
Is he going to hospital?
Yeah.
Shall I make a cup of tea, guys?
Oh, yeah!
Oh, best idea I've heard all night.
We haven't had the chance for a cup of tea, and it's...
I know.
One of them things, innit? You go from chaos, chill down for 2 minutes, make a cup of tea. What you got to do, innit? Back to normal. Till the chaos starts again. Tea's very important in this place. Keeps everybody happy, nice cup of tea. Mind you saying that, actually, a nice pint of lager would be a lot more... go down a lot better. Do you want to take that with you then, sir?
Yes, thank you.
Team 3's night shift is almost over. But there is still one detainee to process.
Tony!
After investigation, officers have established that it was Tony that started the fight in the pub. Another man intervened and gave him his black eye.
Obviously, you've got quite a bad injury, mate. Are you happy to go to hospital?
Now it's necessary, yeah?
No, it wasn't necessary before, but unfortunately you were violent. Listen, I've been doing this a while, mate. I know what I'm doing.
After being in his cell all night, Tony is still angry, but no longer violent.
I get filled in if you're doing me for a fray. I miss my job, I miss my kids, everything, because you lot waste my time. One that needs hospital treatment and you lot treat me like that, shove me against the wall.
Don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything.
Scum.
Dear.
It really doesn't bother me. They're not shouting at me, they're shouting at their situation, their personal circumstances, their life in general a lot of the time. So it's water off a duck's back.
No quilt all night, no nothing. Bright light, normally dark.
I offered to turn his light off. I offered him a pillow, blanket, and he turned it down.
Fuck the lot of you!
Yes.
I was nearly going to bite back.
I was almost tempted to say, thank you.
I was going to say thanks for coming and I thought, no, better not. I was jumping at the bit. I was like this.
Have a nice day.
After working 4 shifts in a row, the team has 4 days off before the next shift begins.
Charge room. He's not very happy. Oh, where's he coming from?
This morning, Sue and Sarah are back on duty.
Where's my pen gone? You put a £10 note down, it'd stay there forever. Pens?
But on this shift, there's a different sergeant in charge.
Sergeant Stewart over at Birching Way. How are you, mate? I am the sergeant that just keeps giving, you know that, don't you? All right, mate. Just to let you know, there's a couple of things brewing over here.
Stewart has done more time in the custody suite than anyone else.
I was asked to come into custody to cover a retirement. Was told I'd be here for a month. And 9 years later, I'm still here. It is my life. It's what I've come to like. It's what I've come to love.
So, in number 1 is a name that I'm sure you're all aware of.
The morning briefing on cell detainees is an essential part of Sergeant Stewart's job.
Apparently, the early hours of this morning, they decided to beat somebody up in one of the high streets in Scunthorpe. We need to keep number 1 and number 20 away from number 34 because number 1 and number 20 were kicking the crap out of number 34.
Originally, I'm from the North East. I had no intentions of ever moving to Grimsby, but I met my wife and the decision was we'd come here so that we had some babysitters for the children.
11 hands himself in at the police station, and when they search him in his bag, he's got Class A, a knife, whatever else you want to think of in his bag.
Firearm as well.
Yeah, so he's not, I don't know, he doesn't strike me as the cleverest lad in the box. In 32 is Smith.
I always come in a happy mood. I've got nothing to be unhappy about. I enjoy what I do and supporting the local community.
Right, onwards and upwards.
As well as Grimsby, Birching Way serves the regions of East Yorkshire and North Lincolnshire, an area of almost 1,400 square miles.
What's your emergency? Hey, I think he's getting beat up by a boyfriend. I can hear him shouting and smashing stuff and screaming. She kept saying, stop, get off me and all this stuff. And then I heard something's been smashed in the house. Since she's gone quiet, I'm getting worried.
Right.
30 miles away in Scunthorpe, multiple police units have been called to a serious domestic incident.
Is she answering the door? Come to the door.
A lot of the things that we get in here are certainly related around the domestic violence area.
What's happened?
Yeah.
What happened? Well, we had a little argument.
People have been through an awful lot in the last 2 years. People have been locked up with each other. They've become tired of each other. You know, certain things occur.
Who's upstairs? Is there anyone else up here? Charlotte? So there's been an argument.
Yeah.
Have you got any injuries at all? Has he hit you?
Having made an arrest for actual bodily harm, officers drive 40 minutes from Scunthorpe to Birchin Way Custody Suite.
As far as domestic violence goes, we do see quite a lot of men for abusing their partners.
Oh, how are we?
But we still do get an awful lot of women through the custody suite for domestic related violence.
You been here before?
Really?
This is our last second time.
How much have you been arrested for?
DA, ABH.
So it's an allegation of a domestic related assault, yeah? OK.
During a verbal argument, this female has punched, scratched and bitten her boyfriend to the forearm, causing a large bruise and broken skin.
Tell us what's happened.
She's possibly lost it.
Right, okay.
She started screaming in my face,
Right.
and then she literally come in, she kind of kicks me, and then obviously she tries to beat me up and that. She chomped it on my arm.
That's quite a nasty bite mark on your arm.
No, we've had like a scrapple and I bit him because he was restraining me and I don't like getting restrained. I just lost control.
OK, I am arresting you for ABH.
I don't like being handcuffed.
I'll do it as loose as I can for you. OK?
Yeah.
Is that OK?
Yeah, that's fine.
We used to have what we call discretion. You know, we really don't have discretion anymore. Even a push now is classed as a common assault, as it should be. And a lot of people are brought in for things that we never used to bring them in for.
Based upon the circumstances that obviously they've given me, we do need to have a chat with you. So for that reason, I am going to authorise your detention here at the police station.
Scott, do you want more plastic bag, please?
Your cup of tea. I haven't put any milk in it because of your ulcer, is that all right?
Looking after the detainees is the custody team's #1 priority.
By all means, if you're happy that she's behaving, then.
Right now, the team are concerned for the welfare of Charlotte.
Take this one off first. All right.
Arrested for a domestic actual bodily harm.
When people come in, what they've been arrested for doesn't always tell the bigger picture of what's going on behind that arrest. Sometimes things are just more complicated than what's presented at face value.
OK, have you ever tried to harm yourself? Yeah. I can just tell by the smile.
Other day I had like a rational thought.
Are you all right? We're not just here to apportion blame to you. As I said, I will look after you. That's what we're here for. But for us to look after you, we just need to look after you properly. Yeah? I've got people here, and they basically work alongside people to try and give you some help if you need any help in anything. Do you want to speak to them? Might do you some good. Yeah? All right.
Whilst her case is investigated, Charlotte will be referred to the in-house mental health team.
How are you feeling?
I'm just taking every day.
Every day as it comes?
Yeah.
it's clear that, you know, she's beginning to suffer from what's going on in her life. For me, it's all about making sure she gets the proper help. So the gentleman who does that sort of thing and works alongside us will be told about her to help her get through and what is quite obviously a difficult time for her. Bless her, poor thing.
If somebody closes it though and you just feel you need it open, just buzz them. All right. Yeah?
Whilst Charlotte settles into her room, other cells across the custody suite are emptied.
Just get a rubbish bag.
As detainees are released or taken to court,
What's he left for us?
leaving cells that must be prepared for new arrivals.
Get rid of this. I don't know what that is the remains of. Dirty bedding. This actually isn't too bad. A couple of hours and there'll be somebody else in this room. It's a bit like one of your busiest hotels, really.
It's not meant to be 5-star, but the custody suite's 36 cells do come with the latest facilities and services.
We have a nice ensuite. I've stayed in some hotels that don't even have en-suites. Running water. We provide maid service, on-demand room service, all the meals you want on tap, newspapers, reading material. Just press a button and you're straight through to the receptionist.
And just like a busy hotel, there are always problems with noisy guests.
If you're in one of these rooms and you've got somebody next door while you're not getting any sleep, it's worse than being in a hotel room in Magaluf. If I went into a hotel and it had a mattress like that, I think I would be leaving, running for the door. Custody's one-tog duvet. I prefer feather pillows, especially seeing as we don't provide pillowcases. If you look at things on a whole, it's not the best of hotels, really, is it? I don't think I'd be wanting to stay here, definitely not. It hasn't got a TV for a start off.
The custody suites may be short on luxury.
Guys, can you come to desk number 2 for me, please?
It's like a post office, isn't it? Desk number 2, please.
But for some, they're very much an upgrade on what they're used to.
Now then, you're right. Okie dokie. So, what have you been arrested for?
Shop theft. £140 shop theft from Aldi.
Right, OK. You're right.
Yeah.
So, young man, where are you living at the moment?
Mate, yeah. So
Are you sofa surfing?
Sofa-surfing.
Right, OK. All right, mate. You been in custody before?
I have, yeah.
OK, mate. Hopefully we'll find you then, eh? You've been here before, you've been 73 times.
As a regular visitor to custody, the man is what's known to the team as a frequent flyer.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
If you don't mind. Are you pinching to support something? Is it drugs or is it just food or is it...
It's living.
Is it
just living, yeah.
Because you're quite prevalent at it, aren't you? Which means that you're obviously doing it for a reason, and that's why I'm asking you, mate, that's all. Take them cuffs off you.
Thank you.
They have nowhere else to be, nowhere else to go, and they need somewhere to stay. And unfortunately, to get that bed for the night, they go out and commit crime. Very minor crime, probably a shop theft or a small criminal damage, but something that they know will get them here and get them a bed for the night, something to eat, something to drink.
I know you've been sofa surfing. When was the last time you had shower and clean stuff?
About 2 weeks.
So what we'll do, we'll get you sorted, get you something to eat and drink. Once you're settled, we'll get you a shower. Yeah? Get you cleaned up. Yeah? Is that all right?
Thank you.
All right, mate. OK, you want to pop this gentleman to number 33 for me, which is on the orange block. And I'll get one of my gang to come round and get you something to eat, something to drink, mate. All right? Whatever you need, we'll sort for you.
Yeah.
All right, matey. There's a reason why he's homeless and why he's sofa surfing, but, you know, it's about working with them, trying to make sure that they get what you can give them. When you saw the look on his face when I said I'd get him something to eat, something to drink, you know, get him cleaned up, get him some fresh clothes. It's stuff that they're just not used to. They're not used to people being like that with them.
With so many detainees having issues from homelessness to drug dependency, it's important that the staff have specialist training to deal with them. Something Sue uses on every shift.
24 hours a day in custody, you have to engage in the detainees that you've got here. You have to talk to them, make sure they're okay, you have to look after them. Are you upset more so because you're stuck in here or because of something going on at home?
I'm not doing anything wrong.
The detainees, they can become quite emotional and stressed and distraught. Have you got any mental health issues? I'll go in and I'll say, are you all right? Right, listen, we've got an issue. The issue is you spoke to the sergeants and said that you're not feeling too good and that you sort of self-harm sometimes. Is that right?
Yeah.
But caring for the welfare of so many detainees can also have an impact on the custody team.
Some people that come in can have such sad lives. It can drag you down sometimes when you're only ever seeing the other side of the spectrum of life. The wheels are already falling off the bus, I think. So I've got a real good hobby, scuba diving. When I go diving and I'm under the water and I'm in this different realm, so is my headspace. It's a completely different world. I've experienced some amazing things. And that hobby has took me all over the world. Australia, New Zealand, you know, the underwater experiences, it's like an escapism from reality. And then you walk into work in the morning, you open the door and you open the door into the custody suite and bang, there's reality for you. Yeah, straight back down to earth. You come with me, I'll get you sorted.
Sue is looking after the homeless detainee.
Are you hungry?
Oh, I'm starving.
When did you last eat?
About 2 days ago.
I thought so. All right. We do have a lot of homelessness in Grimsby. They're a human being at the end of the day, just like me. Any of us could end up where the homeless are, any of us, through any different circumstance. Stand here. They're new trainers, aren't they?
Yeah.
They had to bloody run fast in them then, won't they?
No.
Got you though, didn't they? They caught you. Yeah, a little autograph on there for me.
Okay,
Well, super job. Tied up. When we get him coming in here, we basically just get him processed, feed him up, get some meat back on his skinny bones. Then he'll basically get his head down and go to sleep. He's never a problem at all. Right, I'm gonna go get you something to eat.
Did you get me a couple of things with you? Is that all right?
I'll sort you out. Yeah, I'll have a look for you.
3-4 years ago, when my marriage split, lost my job through the drink, ended up on severe depression and anxiety. I never imagined it would come to my life would end up like this. I'd like things to be different if they could, you know.
I'll get my sausage and mash. I'll get them an all-day breakfast. Sometimes I'll go home at night and I'll sit down with a glass of wine and I'll think to myself, God, how lucky am I? You know, what I've got in my life, how lucky am I?
They're looking after me pretty good, to be fair, but I'm polite. If you come in here with a bad attitude and you're slamming your door and shouting at the officers, it doesn't really get you very far. So even though it's not the best situation to be in, you find nice people in every situation. So every kind of cloud has a silver lining. There's always a nice person to help.
I've got you 3.
I know, I'm really cheeky.
Have some more, what about you? All right. No. We do have empathy for some people that come in custody, of course you do, yeah. The odd one now and again, it quite takes you back and you have to emotionally cut yourself off from it sometimes.
By the end of another day in custody, the detainees have had time to consider why they've been locked up. Like Charlotte, the occupant of cell 1 arrested for assaulting her boyfriend.
What I've been through today, a lot of thoughts about life, sort of reflecting. I've done a lot of reflecting on my life in here, thought of things I've gone through and how I can change them things. Really at the moment I'm going through a hard time and sort of it's linked to what's happened today.
You alright?
When I get home, there's a lot of making up to do between my partner. And now I've reflected on that, I get to share that with him, and you know, hopefully we can work our way around things. I definitely won't be coming back again, hopefully.
We're here to make sure that when people leave the custody suite, they don't leave feeling the same way they arrived. They leave feeling more positive. Because that's what life's all about.